May's mystery block of the month is salvage spools.
We're so excited to share with you the cute salvages that we have here at Riley Blake Designs. You'll notice that we'll take elements from some of the collections and we'll create cute little salvages with birds, and all of them have the little colors that are, in the collection.
And we decided instead of just dots to make some fun things, and since you usually throw the salvages away, we thought we would incorporate it in our project today. So Gina, tell us how we get started.
All right, so what we'll want to do, you'll have a downloadable template, and these will be for the spool edges. And so you'll want to cut 8 out of your gingham, and then 8 out of your white, which I would consider whatever you're using for your background color. And then you'll choose or cut 4 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 squares, and these really can be out of anything. You're going to sew your salvages on top of this.
We've already prepared 3, and we're going to show you how to do the last one, and so you can see how they look when it's finished. But you just grab your scraps of salvages, and you want to make sure you have plenty so you can adjust it. Don't cut them ahead of time before you put them on your thing. So tell us how you sew this together.
Yeah, so what you'll do is take your 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 square. I like to put your edge right here up against your edge because we'll square this up when we're finished. And then take your next selvage, and you can sew
Adjust
this.
it how you
Yeah,
want.
if you want to show a little bit of fabric, you can do that. You'll notice it's nice to leave like a 1/4 inch on your coloring just in case you want to show that, or you can just cover up that selvage completely. But you'll sew very close to this selvage. So there's no raw edge of this, and you'll just keep sewing just one after the other.
That's what's nice. So, and if you didn't have all your salvages, you could probably use a skinny ribbon
Yeah,
too.
ribbons would be
A little
darling.
grosgrain ribbon.
You can get pretty creative. Whatever you would like on your wrapped around your spools.
And we have fun words, so this
Yep.
one has good life. So you can just kind of adjust it how you want, and just sew them on one at a time.
Yep.
Until you build.
And once you
Your
get
block.
to your end here, it's not going to matter. We're going to take a 1/4 inch once we sew that up. So this will sew right on that edge there, and you won't see any of that raw finish.
So we're going to go get this sewed up, and then we'll bring it back and square it up. So once you've got your selvages sewn, then you just need to square it.
Yes, so we're going to square this up to 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 inches.
Flip it around that way. A lot of times you just have to cut the 2 sides if everything else is lined up.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so now you've got your 4 centers for your spools, and now's the tricky part. We're going to sew on our template here. All right, so what you want to make sure of is which way you want your ribbon or selvage running.
Okay.
And I kind of want it running this way, so these would be my spool ends. So we'll sew those on first. So we'll get our green.
You match your 2 sides. It looks like I used about 6 selvages. You could probably squeeze one more
Yeah.
in there.
Yep. All right, so 1/4 inch. And one of the things now that is really helpful is to mark a 1/4 inch in on each side. So a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there. I can eye that pretty good, but you
Okay.
could use a ruler if you wanted
then
to and
just
double
measure
check.
it. Okay.
But what you're doing is you're going to sew from that pencil mark to that pencil mark.
So you don't want to start at the very edge.
No, you've got to have that open because once we put that on, we're doing a mitered corner.
The other way.
So we're going to do both ends at the same time. And we're going to mark each corner 1/4 inch in.
And we could just chain piece all these.
Yes, that would
At
be a great
once.
idea.
Put these
So I'll put all of
here.
these on. And I'll do all those markings for you while you get busy and start sewing all these, and then we'll
All right.
come back and put our backgrounds in. Okay.
Get started.
All right, so I've got these pressed for you. I'll press that one.
Okay.
And while you go and sew your background piece. So again, we're going to get ready to miter this corner. So in order to do that, we will match up this edge, and we're going to start sewing right at that seam all the way down to that seam. You can see.
So you almost have a 1/4 inch
Yes.
off
Yes.
on each side.
Because you want to leave that because that's going to
So-
become your mitered corner seam.
So got it. So
Okay.
you're starting
from
in
that
here.
edge to there.
Okay.
And you'll do that on all sides.
All right.
Okay. All right. So you've sewn all 4 of the blocks.
Yes.
Okay, so let's onto our mitered corner. Now this is a really tricky part. So you have to be really precise in your 1/4 inch. You'll notice that you've got this opening right here that we need to close, and you've got a little 1/4 inch opening. What I found is that if I line this up, can you see that? So
Just
I'm
fold it.
lining that up and folding it so that what happens is these lay flat. And then I just line those up. Do you see where I ended my stitch right there?
Yep.
And I'm just going to sew from there all the way down that corner.
Get your good 1/4 inch, and that's why
Yeah.
it's important to have a 1/4 inch foot.
Yeah, so right up close to that stitch, because you don't want a hole there. Just right there. You can do a teeny, like 1 or 2 stitch back stitch if you want, and then go all the way to the end. I only like to back stitch there just to hold that in place. But let's do all 4 corners on all of these blocks, and we'll come back and
Okay, let's finish.
show everyone.
Okay, so we finished our blocks.
And they look so good.
Well, and I just want to remind everyone when they're sewing that this is on the bias, so not stretch. And just sew it flat so it's not distorted when you're finished.
Yes, these look really good. So what we're going to do is square these up. And you'll notice they're pretty close to 6.5 inches. But we're going to go ahead and we'll trim these up to 6.5 by 6.5 and get these little dog ears off. You'll notice we're not trimming very much at all.
Just taking the little,
Yeah.
because it's pretty spot on, isn't it?
It really is. I'm just really taking off those little dog ears. In fact, we're a little shy on this side, but that's okay because we'll be careful when we sew that seam. Okay?
We'll finish up and assemble our block.
Okay, so we've got these all squared up. Let's lay these out. And you'll notice that it's really important where your spool ends go. Okay?
Like this.
But you can look at your salvages and do a full turn of your block to get it where you want. So are you good with those?
Yes, looks
Okay.
great.
So let's pin these together, and you are going to match up your corners right here, your seam, and you're going to sew 1/4 inch all the way down, and then 1/4 inch on here, and we'll pin those, and you'll
Come back.
go and sew. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we'll just clip.
Okay, so you learned a couple things by sewing these. Let's show how we've lined up these points. So Cindy had to be very careful and line up her
You
points
kind
right
of
here.
nestle it, otherwise they can be off a little bit.
Right, and then what's going to be nice is you have your nice 1/4 inch, and you'll be able to see the points of your spools. So we're to the middle part here. We're going to nestle in those seams, have one going one way, one going the other. Make sure those points are matched up,
Well, you can even press at this
and then
point,
we'll pin those.
which is helpful. But we can hurry and sew this and show our finished block.
Yes. All right, let's see how well you did on those points. They're perfect!
Yay!
They look awesome. Cindy's done a great job of lining all these points up.
So Gina's going to press real fast, and we'll come back.
So look at how great your block turned out.
Oh, it did turn out good.
And so we can add these to the blocks that we've already done.
And next time you're in the fabric store, notice all the different selvages that are out there. They're really fun to look at. And thanks for watching our selvage spool tutorial.